I decided to record myself finishing my magazine, and the first thing I did was add my cover lines in again after I decided I didn't like them last time. And I wanted to do this thing called justify the font, which makes it all lined up, but I couldn't work out how to do it. Anyway, I found this font that I really liked, and I like it because it's really bold and it stands up on the page. And so I googled how to justify text in Photoshop, and I couldn't really understand what it was saying, and so I eventually didn't do it. So after looking for ages on how to do it, I decided I'd try and do it myself by spacing the words apart so that they were all equal. And this again took me quite a while. And I decided it looked better natural, kind of the way it was anyway, because it kind of outlines the picture really well, and so I left it in the end. So I then added in all of my other cover lines to the page. And what I did was the same as I have done before, where I duplicated the font and then put it behind in a different colour so it looks like it's shadowed. And I chose to do this in orange because of the fire at the bottom, which is obviously orange. And when I did my research, I noticed that when there's a certain colour on a front cover, it tends to be consistent on the cover lines and the image and the masthead. So then I decided to change the title of the magazine to orange as well to match the rest of the cover. And I got up a colour wheel to find the contrasting colour to orange, which is blue, just so that I'd know for later when adding in anything like a puff or any extra details that I could do it in blue for that contrast. And then I added my pull quote to the page, which would be from the interview with James about my film. And I added that, and I wanted it to be quite big because it's the feature of the magazine, of this issue of the magazine, sorry. And so I put in his name and then the quote, and then I decided to make his name smaller so the quote really stood out. So at this point I was just readjusting everything to make it fit on the page, and so there wasn't any empty space that could be filled with something. So I just made everything fit the way I wanted it to, and I played around with a few different colours for the 2 layers of the full quote. But in the end I decided to go for black and orange as a contrast to the black and white on all of the cover lines, just to make it stand out a bit more. And then I added in my other quote, my other cover line about my film. But first I was looking at other magazine covers to see whether you need to put the title of the film in quotation marks, and I found out that they didn't, so I removed all of those that I'd put in. And then I went about making my barcode, and I didn't really know what I needed to put in the barcode, like underneath the actual code itself. So I searched what to put in them, and it said title, name, frequency, issue, and price. But I couldn't actually fit all of this in this barcode generator, so I went onto another website, but I couldn't do that either, so I ended up just putting in Bright Mag, October 2016. And then I downloaded this and added it into Photoshop, cropped it, and put it onto the cover. And I decided to put it at the bottom rather than the top because I wanted to put a puff at the top with some information about the magazine, and it can go at the bottom. On other magazines I looked at, it is sometimes at the bottom. So then I decided to make my puff, and I did this in a Word document because, as I've said before, it's easier to do it in Word than on Photoshop. And I made this blue, like I said earlier, because it contrasts to orange. And I decided I'd do this in quite a horror-related font, so I did the blood-dripping one. And I put the nation's favourite horror magazine, issue number, and the price. And then I saved this and added it into my cover. And again, I spent quite a while readjusting everything so that this would fit in the place that I wanted it to be. And I didn't want it to cover too much of the title, because obviously James is already covering it, and I didn't want it to be unreadable. And I had to move all of the cover lines on the right hand side down to fit it in. and that is my finished magazine cover. I am happy with it at the minute, but I am going to show it to other people, see what they think, and ask some constructive criticism if they have any. If they don't, then that is it done. Thank you for watching.